Hi, my name is Gil Robertson, president of the African American Film Critics Association. Today, we're thrilled to be talking to Malcolm Mays and Haley Kilgore, who are the stars of the hit Star series Power, Raising Kanan. We're going to kick things off by introducing you to our AFCA members on the call today, starting with Katia Woods, our facilitator in Philadelphia, Brandon Collins in New York, New York, Dana Abercrombie in New York, New York, and Nigel, also in Washington, D.C. I'm going to let you guys do what you do so well, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hi, good morning. My name is Nigel Chambers of Big O Belt Media. Haley and Malcolm, congratulations on the season 4 announcement today. Well deserved.
Thanks.
This season, absolutely, and season 3 is definitely kicked off with a lot of things to talk about here. Talking about the character Lulu, Malcolm, we get our first mention and slight introduction of his father, E-Train, who we know is a man who's given up on boxing, given up on music, would essentially correlate that to him giving up on even on his family. What does that mean?
Wow, thanks for making him a loser. That's appreciate that one, bro.
For sure. I mean, interesting enough, though, just recently watching a Tyler Perry documentary, you realize that even having, abusive or just a father figure that's absorbing within the household that could be detrimental, but yet he took it in a way to be positive. I'm curious to know Lulu stating and knowing everything that his dad had went through and gave up, and he still continues to push forward with music. What source of motivation does his dad's story fuel for him and his pursuit and love for music?
I think we all have root triggers that originate from our juvenile experiences. And I think that those take root so deep when they're so early that you don't even understand why your motivation towards something is so ingrained in you. I mean, even if you just take the natural byproduct of people having certain characteristics of their parents and they've never met their parents. People saying, like, I know I've had friends whose mamas be like, you act just like your daddy. Nigga ain't never met his dad. This doesn't make any sense. But knowing that those kind of genetic echoes happen on something as casual as mannerisms, I can only imagine something that your parental figure may have been in love with and had a deep passion for, and you have the opportunity to see them in a positive light in that space specifically, what that would have, what kind of impression that would leave upon a young child. So to me, that's where the source of all of his love and passion comes from, is that it's not only a place of something that he enjoys and it's a burgeoning, genre of music that he's a part of and grown up with, like just on a surface level, but even on a deeper level, it's the only place he ever saw his father happy. It's the only place he's seen any family member truly happy, other than Rock selling drugs, of course, or Haley singing. Like that. That's why there's always that through line. And I think Haley can comment on this if she'd like, but I've always have a smile on my face when I talk to both of my niece and my nephew, and it's because they're a place where happiness resides untouched. And so when our relationships corrode, her singing is why I took such an interest, is because it just reminds me of my father, of happiness, of family, of unity, of peace. And that's why I think he's so connected to that. And Haley, I think that's why we always share such a pretty good relationship in the first 2 seasons, at least. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dana Abercrombie, the Coalition. Haley, I'm really fascinated by Jukebox. She's been through a lot, especially during the finale. And there is another loss that is suffered later on. I want to know with the character, will she experience happiness?
No.
Does she, Lord, does she get a taste of that?
Yeah. Good morning. It's been a long road with Juke, huh? A long emotional road with lots of tears. I think she's gonna get there. I think the thing is, when you're a kid growing up in that environment, you have to make your own happiness, right? And you have to build something for yourself. And what we have to remember about Juke and Kanan is their kids. And so they have to find their world and build their world. And I think you'll be very happy with how things start to go for her.
Hi, Brandon Collins from the Media and Popcorn Podcast. My question is for both of you. First of all, fantastic performances this season as always. But in the world of Power, we know how Jukebox and Kanan stories end, right? But not so much about Lulu. And I'm sure he doesn't end up on the beach drinking Mai Tais to pass his time, right? They were heading towards the dark.
Not,
well, I don't know. Y'all may know, but
what's up with that?
But how is that knowledge from the first Power series impact your performances in any way?
Yeah, I think what I was actually speaking with someone else about this. The beautiful thing about Anika and her performance is that it was like completely her own, and she completely built this incredible character that I then get to come in and do my thing with. But she really gave me the space to make Juke my own. So for me, even though I have a character later on, I have to remember that young Juke doesn't know she's experienced all the things that older Juke has experienced. So it's been really, really fun kind of creating a new character, knowing that I can add little things along the way that eventually build to what she becomes.
Lulu dies. Spoiler alert. I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you. I don't know, dog. Like, I was supposed to know what these motherfuckers gonna do. It's tougher. I think it's with what Haley has to do is a lot more difficult, right? Because you already know the ending. So she has to thread this small needle of building towards something we're already expecting, which is really tough to surprise somebody and ingratiate somebody to your performance when they already think they know who you are. So I think that what she's doing is far more difficult in that regard. For me, I get the luxury of you don't even know who the fuck he is. So you're learning about him every season. And that's just fun. That's just interesting. That's just work. And I pray that, I actually do pray that because of Lulu's seemingly, he and Jukebox are kind of conscious of the family, right? We're the two people who are most reasonable. She's the keeper of secrets, and I'm the one who says, hey, look, if we go down that hallway, we all gonna die, right? Right? So I hope he is rewarded karmically for that with some kind of peace, even if it's just a quiet life or maybe, changing his name, whatever. I don't know what Sasha has in store, but I pray he goes out like a G because he been through it.
Hi, Katya, what's Cup of Soul Show? My question is for you, Malcolm. I feel like Lou is forever trying to have an exit plan and they just would not let him out. So talk about that. I feel like he is the one that at least wants to be in the family business, but he's in it because he loves his siblings. But deep down inside, he is plotting the exit plan. And just when he thinks he can get out or he's at the airport about the board, like the phone starts ringing. So talk a little about that because we don't see enough characters. I think it's always shown like that there's people, like I think Langdon's character is more the guy that he wants to be in the business. And you're in it because you're related to these folks. And we don't see that enough because it's always shown that everybody wants to be a gangster. I mean, he knows how to move, but low key, he's like, man, if somebody gives me the red pill to get out, I'm getting out.
I think that Sasha's done a good job, and London and Bettina have done an excellent job of portraying different archetypes within that world, right? Because we could just switch out gangbanging with a family of lawyers, a family of doctors, a family of health professionals. Yellowstone, I like to say, is basically the white version of Power. Right? You got a family business and everybody has different interests within it. And all of us have different wants and desires because we're different human beings. Lou is interesting to me because he's actually, when we originally meet him, he's been doing this job for years. And he's been doing a great job. Like he was actually excellent. He was who Rock initially leaned on. It switches over to London's character because he ends up having an arc and a change as being a more responsible human, even with his daughter. But me, I'm actually on the downslope. You see me, a tortured soul, and the manifestations of the psychological negativities and externalities that start to play upon him, which changes his trajectory. He's actually not cool and smooth anymore. He doesn't know what the plan is anymore because his exit strategies are always ruined and taken from him and undermined by his sister. I wouldn't even say the entire family, mainly by Rock. Like, even Marvin at some point was like, hey man, like, do what you want to do. Just don't fuck up, right? And I think that he gets support from everybody except from his sister, which is his source of love, his maternal, his matriarchal figure. And I think that that's what hurts him the most. And we see that with his mother. in this season, I think that you get to explore that more. So for him, I feel bad for him. I feel like he's a tortured soul, and I think that that's what the creators are attempting to forge with him, is for you to have some type of sympathy and empathy for all of the characters outside of Patina's, which is why it's really difficult to play her character.
I agree. I do think my theory in him is he does exit and takes on a different persona, and that's my theory on him. If and when the series ends, that he ducks out and lives low key somewhere, in some small town.
Your lips to Sasha's ears, okay? Let's hope that's the reality.
Hey, how's it going, London? Nigeria Chamber of Media. Welcome.
Thank you, man.
Listen, Uncle Marvin is the poster child for therapy. It works. And we're seeing it on display. And even in the height of him setting up his move on Wall Street, or with the Wall Street boys, shall I say, in the club, he decides to leave to go take care of his homie Gerald, which was a very interesting decision being made there. Can you talk about the mental state progression from season 2 to season 3 with Marvin, who struggled with the relationship with his daughter, that's now become her biggest fan in this season, and also is being able to set the business aside to handle personal things. This is a tremendous development that I didn't see coming for who I thought was the stone cold killer of the family.
First, shout out to Haley, and shout out to Malcolm for that live, Malcolm. I appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you all. That's the first thing. What's interesting about this quest that Marvin is on is that I think he's is a reflection of how most of us are in our regular lives, in the sense that if you don't know us, everyone has this idea of who we think, or who they think we are, but it's not until we sit back and we have a conversation with someone, or in this case, when we look at Marvin from the outside, we're able to see, like, yo, he's not just one thing, or he's not just the guy holding, getting into some nefarious acts, but he's human. And even with Marvin, I think Marvin didn't even realize how much he needed to grow. But it took someone to slow him down, who actually cared, and say, okay, hold on. I know you got this persona you're trying to keep up, which a lot of times we do, just in our way of protecting our own selves from ourselves. But it was through therapy where we find out, we say, oh, okay, Marvin does have a side of him that hasn't really been able to be tapped into, because again, he's so busy focused on the family business, and Rock ain't even got the sensitivity to slow down to even address and say, hey, what's going on, big brother? Lou in his own world. I'm supposed to be there for my daughter. My daughter don't have time to be trying to ask me what's going on. So it is a journey. But when we go into the following season, where Marvin has been able to say, hey, there's some other sides of me, and I was able to see those sides, it's not as difficult to see the issues within Gerald's life, because there's a part of Marvin that he can see within Gerald. So I think that causes some sympathy for him to say, you know what, I'm not going to push him to the side like I've been done before. In a few cases, we saw that in season 1, where at one point Rock, she kind of threw her hands up with Marvin, but Marvin still circled the block for his brother. So, that's what's so funny about Rock too, is like everyone had Rock in the beginning of the season, like the queen, the most responsible queen bee, but she still is navigating things. And like Malcolm was saying, there was a part of Rock where she don't have time she ain't got time to dealing with Malcolm or with Lulu. And there's some times early on in the season where she didn't have time for Marvin. But circling around, I think Marvin is starting to see it, because of therapy, he was able to see a side of him that's a little more connected to other people. We saw this when he dealt with Sam, the crackhead. He was able to have a little sympathy there. We saw this even when he dealing with his daughter. He had to step out himself, stop being selfish, and say, hey, man, my daughter needed me. I ain't been what I needed to be. So therapy is a journey that I think we can all appreciate.
Sorry, Dana Abercrombie, the Coalition. My question is kind of for Malcolm. What we did know from the previous season is Rock said to you, essentially, I own you. And so what I wanted to know is, moving forward, is that always
that is part of his mind, because we do see him have his own life. We do see him say no. Is that still within the back of his mind, or is he so consumed with what he's doing and kind of forming his own happiness that he's just not paying her any attention? Whatever she wants to do, she can do. Or is he still navigating that with, I'm scared of Rock?
Yeah, I think the cigarette tells it all. The cigarette in his mouth was trembling. His hands were shaking. I'd be lying to tell you that boy didn't take that to heart. The internet would disagree with me if I said that he didn't take that to heart. So the unfortunate reality is that she wasn't. He's in an abusive relationship, much like Black people with America. There's sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. It's a whole lot of bad. It's just, what do you do in that situation? In that situation, you have to do the best you can to get from up under those who have enslaved you, right? You try to be better. You try to educate yourself. You try to seek other opportunities outside of, and unfortunately, it looms so omnipotent that it almost seems impossible. But somehow we overcome, don't we? So I can't tell you what happens, but I can tell you that it's a very parallel experience to the Black experience with an American relationship. So,
hi, Kathy Woods Couple Soul Show again. Haley, my question is to you. I feel like Dana. Can we get you and Malcolm? You both need some happiness, but both of y'all go through stuff where bodies are constantly dropping. Talk about that, because I think it's even harder because she's a young woman trying to come into her own. Even, Roxy, she ain't exactly the best role model to be talking to about stuff, like we just established. Her advice be upside down sometimes. Talk about playing someone who is, dealing with her sexuality, trying to come into her womanhood, in this crazy family, and she needs therapy, but who does she turn to? You know what I mean? We talk about that when you have so much in you, and then and on top of that, the environment that she's growing up with. She too needs an exit plan.
Like I said earlier, she's had a very long and emotional journey. I think what you'll see as the season progresses with her is she really discovers, I think she always knew what the game plan was. She wanted to be a singer. She wanted to do her thing, do really well in school, and everybody leave me alone. I want to sing. That's it. Leave me out of it. And we're starting to see that she has to build her own world. And we see that she actually actively, she knows how to find everybody. She knows how to figure things out. So now we see how she starts to use that to her advantage. So that's really exciting. I think you'll be very happy. There will be tears. It wouldn't be Jukebox without tears. But I think you'll see that she's a lot happier this season. And playing her is really fun. Yeah.
I don't really have no answer to that. She did it perfectly. It's I don't know. They could just keep making them go through shit, or hey, listen, go talk to Sasha. Please beg this man to give us some happiness here.
Yeah, not even the relationship. I was like, damn, they even dropped this girl. That's messed up.
Yeah,
but you do. You do a really, really great job. But like I said, as we just for your two characters, I'm just like a little bit, just a little bit of peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we right there with you, Mama. We hope so. Because I'm tired of watching Haley cry every episode. It's tiring.
My eyes hurt. My tear ducts.
Malcolm, London, and Haley, thank you for your time today. We just love this show, and we hope it goes on and on and on and on. We are definitely looking forward to seeing how these characters develop and progress as the saga of Power Raising Kanan continues. On behalf of the world's largest group of Black film and TV critics, thank you for watching this edition of AAFCA Roundtables. Have a great day.
I appreciate you guys.